Okay, I believe that we left off in the words of Rav Chaim Kanievsky in the Orchos Yosher. We're speaking about the Simcha that a person should have in Mitzvos. And we explained that it transforms the observance, it transforms the whole experience that a person has. And he writes like this. He says, Gam, da you should know, ki oisa mitzvah e maspik lo b'mash yasa oisa. When a person does a mitzvah, it's not enough that you just perform the mitzvah itself. Chazal tell us the following. Anyone who does one single mitzvah, good will be done to them, and their days will be lengthened. It says further, anyone who does a particular mitzvah, they will receive such and such reward. For doing one single mitzvah, he's trying to make us understand the reason that a person should be besimcha when they do mitzvahs. Look what you get. Meitivin loy, you'll have good. Good will extend to a person in this world. The marichin loyamav will have a length of days, and you'll get so much reward. V'hine anachnu ra'inu. We see kama v'kama mitzvah shoysim minei adam. Many people do many mitzvahs. Ve'einam miskaimim divrei Rabbi seinu chas v'shalom. However, they do a lot of mitzvahs. They do a lot of mitzvahs, and yet we don't see meitivin lo. We don't see they get good things, and we don't see marichin yamav. We don't say they have a long life. So how could it be? Says Rav Chaim Kanievsky, if Chazal promised a person, you do a lot of mitzvahs, look at all the good you're going to get, look at all the benefit. How can we see that's not like that? Even in this world, we don't see that they have such wonderful lives. Rather, the root that everything is resting upon. When a person does a mitzvah, they should not think for a moment that it's like a burden that's weighing down on them and they have to get rid of it quickly. Rather, they should think to themselves, when I'm doing this particular mitzvah, I'm getting millions and millions of golden coins of dollars. Then you'll rejoice when you're doing it. Ha-mitzvah b'simcha, when you're doing this particular mitzvah, you'll rejoice b'simcha. She'ein la kates milei v'nefesh v'chesh gadol. There's no end, there's no limit to the joy that a person will have when they're involved in a mitzvah, and the chesh gadol, the tremendous desire they'll have to perform it. Kilu mamish bepoil noisim lo'elef alafim din rezav im yasei mitzvah, as if HaKadosh Baruch Hu literally is opening up the heavens. I was just in the middle of davening for Parnasa, and while I'm davening for Parnasa, suddenly I see a wad of money falls on my shtender. Unbelievable! You daven and HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers. Says over here, says Rav Chaim Kanievsky, he says that if a person would truly appreciate the reward that is coming to you for doing a single mitzvah. Imagine a person wakes up from the morning to the night. How many dozens, if not hundreds, of mitzvahs a person does on a regular basis? That means that the heavens are opening up constantly, and Hashem is raining down din rezav, golden coins, schar, nitzchias, eternal life. Ki'ilu mamish, fine. Vizehu soida pasik. And then he says, this is what it means in the verse. We know that there's two times in the Torah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu speaks about the klalos, about the curses that will come to Klal Yisrael. The second time around, there's a very famous pasuk, and it says, "Tachas asher lo avades Hashem Elokecha b'simcha ubetuv levav." Why did all these curses befall the Jewish people? Why so much destruction? Why so much galus, so much exile? Why so many hardships that we have to go through? So the Torah says, for one reason, because you did not serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'simcha, with happiness, ubetuv levav, in a good heart. You served Hashem. It doesn't say you didn't serve Hashem. Could have said because you didn't do mitzvahs. No, you did mitzvahs. You woke up in the morning, you put on tefillin, you davened shachris, you said brachas on all your food, you benched after you ate, you shook the lulav in the esrog, you ate matzah on Pesach. You were very careful with all the dikdukim, all the little nuances of mitzvahs. However, you didn't do it b'simcha, you didn't do it with a smile on your face, and you didn't do it b'tuv levav, with a heart that was glad and happy to be doing the mitzvahs. V'zeh soid Rav Bruna, like we saw from Rav Bruna before. One day he was able to connect in the Gaal Yisrael to Tefillah Tishman Esrei. And the Gemara said over there, his smile never left his face the entire day. He was rejoicing. It shows his tremendous trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's his tremendous trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu that the performance of the mitzvah itself is even greater than the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised the person that there's going to be a reward that's coming afterwards. Meaning, the mitzvah is the reward. The fact that I'm oisik in the mitzvah, that I can have the simcha of the mitzvah, the joy of the mitzvah, that itself is the greatest part. Ukavi godel simchasai, the emes, according to the great level of joy that a person will reach in truth, ubetuv levav hapenimi, and the inner happiness that a person will have in their heart when they're doing mitzvahs, they will merit to receive a upper light from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's nothing that a person can be happy about in this world. It's even, I'm sure, even more beautiful than the stars shining at night in the camping trip over there, which is a fascinating thing for a city boy to see out, to look out into the sky and to see the Big Dipper and to see the Milky Way and to see the Little Dipper and to see, I don't know the other name, Antarius, whatever, yeah? Orion, yeah? To see with his shield, to see them all there at night. It's fascinating to be there and smell the fresh air, to be able to come home and take a shower. That's all joy. However, there's no greater simcha in the entire universe than just having the schus to do one mitzvah. And if a person would appreciate the value of one single mitzvah in their life, there would be no end to the energy, to the enthusiasm, to the excitement that we would have in the world of mitzvahs, and that's how we'll be able to receive the great light from Hashem. And if a person is consistent in this area of his life, where he does mitzvahs, besimcha all the time, like we saw from the Arizal. How is the Arizal zeicher all of his high levels of kedusha, of tahara, of his mystical insights? Because a simcha ain't safik. Sheyishra of Ruach HaKodesh, there's no doubt that Ruach HaKodesh, divine influence, will rest upon this person. This person will have Ruach HaKodesh. Now, who's talking? Rav Chaim Kanievsky. Rav Chaim Kanievsky was a man who, it's yadu, it's known, he had Ruach HaKodesh. He said things, and he knew things, and he did things that you could only do if you have Ruach HaKodesh. I just got a call yesterday from a meshulach who comes here every single year. The last 2 or 3 years, Corona, whatever, he wasn't able to travel. He's a very sickly person. And he told me the hardest part for him right now is that he can't travel. He said, there's no Reb Chaim for him. He was very close to Reb Chaim Kanievsky. He can't go into Reb Chaim anymore to get a bracha. And he said, one thing about Reb Chaim, this man said, it's a bracha in a person, a broken person. Sickness, debts. You cannot imagine the long list of things on his paper. He said, but every time I would go to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, only one thing that he would tell me, Simcha, Rabbi Yehuda, you're besimcha, you have to be besimcha, everything, besimcha. That's the secret to life, he would say. So he's saying, if you're always besimcha, if you're always happy over the mitzvahs that we do, Ruach HaKodesh, almost done. Ve'inyan zeh noig b'kim kol mitzvahs kulam. This is something that applies to all of the mitzvahs. Whether you're learning, when a person's learning, it should be with such a tremendous love and intensity. Like when you're standing before a king, you have a great desire to serve him. You want to find favor in the eyes of the king. To receive the greatest gifts and the greatest treats and the greatest praises from the king. Ad kan lashon Moreno Rav Chaim Vital Zal. That's the end of the words of Rav Chaim Vital. The ayin b'tikuni Zohar. If you're bored tonight, you look inside the secrets of the Zohar. Just in case you want to know, Taf ayin daf kuf lamed beis aleph. You'll take a look inside and you'll see more secrets and more wonders of what you could accomplish. So a person who does a mitzvah with a scowl on his face, a person who comes to shul and doesn't smile, a person who goes to a Shabbos and they have the look of the deer in the headlights the entire Shabbos, so something must be going wrong. Because if you were going to a baseball game and your team was up at bat, you'd be screaming your head off. If you were going to the box office blockbuster and you couldn't wait to see that performance, stunning performance, a must-see, you would be sitting on the edge of your seat. You wouldn't be able to wait. If you're going to your favorite restaurant and you found out, yes, the 40-ounce steak is in stock tonight and you could have it, you'd be mouth-watering already. When it comes to mitzvahs, we're so bland. We're like trudging through the world of mitzvahs. Says Rav Chaim Kanievsky, you can't trudge. You can't drag your feet. You can't drag your soul. It's got to be b'simcha. If we do it b'simcha, Be'ez Hashem, even if we're not zeicher the Ruach HaKodesh, but he says you will be. If it's tamid, that means every single day, all the time. But at least we'll be zeicher the simchas hanefesh, to know that we're close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that has a nachas from us. Be'ez Hashem, and that's a chus. We'll be zeicher to all of the wonderful gifts that Hashem wants to give to Klal Yisrael in the schos of serving Hashem and performing His mitzvahs b'simcha.